A 1-0 defeat against Nottingham Forest is not what I was hoping to make a video about today. We struggled to beat Wimbledon midweek. We didn't look very good. We've not looked very good at all this season. And to be honest, this was the season that was meant to rectify everything that went wrong last year. And it just doesn't look to be the case. We managed to beat Luton, who are going to be the worst Premier League team, worse than Derby, we've ever seen. They will struggle to get 10 points this season, I believe. They are horrific, and they're the only team we've looked comfortable beating. The only team half of our players turned up against. I don't understand how it keeps going this wrong at Chelsea Football Club. There are a lot of problems, and in isolation, each problem looks solvable. But right now, there are so many that I don't think anyone at the club or fans even know where to start. There are problems on the pitch with players. There are problems in the backroom staff and the management. There are problems with the ownership. And there are problems with some of the disillusioned fan base that make comments on the game. And I don't think they even watch it, because I'm hearing half the fan base explain how poor we look with three at the back. We've not played that. We played a few minutes in one game this season against West Ham, three at the back. And we played a few minutes in pre-season with it. Barely 90. Most of the games have been four at the back under Pochettino. Ben Chilwell is playing as a left winger. That's more of a problem we need to look at than the fact that we're playing a three. We're not playing three at the back. I even saw on Instagram, Thiago Silva had to come out and tell someone that we're not playing a three at the back. If you watch the game, we're not. So how can people comment on what's happening at Chelsea Football Club when they don't even watch it? First of all, that's the facts. That's ridiculous. You need to watch the game if you're going to make comments on what's happening at Chelsea Football Club. 2, what Clear Lake Capital are taking this club into the ground. Todd Boehly came here with the expectations of making a lot of money, more money than was ever possible. And right now, he's spent £1 billion. We've won 12 games under this guy's ownership in the Premier League. We've got 4 points from a possible 12 this season. If we don't get success on the pitch, I struggle to see how these players will ever improve enough and generate enough in player sales for him to start making more money. Half of the ideas that he's had have been completely shut down. I'm starting to wonder if he's already lost his desire to make more money from it and just thought, do you know what? They don't like me. They don't like my ideas. I'm just going to run it into the ground. And that's why I think Chelsea Football Club are on a very, very thin line and very close, edging closer and closer to a crisis. Because I genuinely don't believe right now that Todd Boehly has Chelsea's best interests at heart. He has his own. He's a venture capitalist. That's what he does. He makes money for himself and the very rich people. He's not here and he doesn't care about the fans. He cares about making money. And the only time and the only way that will change is when we start affecting how much money he's making from our awful performances. Then it will change. But the solution isn't just to sack the manager. He needs to identify that his decisions are causing more and more problems. How on earth is Pochettino ever meant to succeed with this team when the team doesn't know itself? He doesn't know the team, and we just keep adding more and more new players to it all the time, and we don't fix the solutions that are there, and we don't meet his requests. He asked for maturity. He didn't get it. We didn't sign a player over 25, apparently. We snubbed Maddison because he's 26. He looks unbelievable at Tottenham, and so does Spurs, by the way, under Ange. And I'll be honest, I'll hold my hands up. I said, I do not want Ange. And it's early days, but wow, it looks like Tottenham made a very good call hiring him. In terms, and moving back to Chelsea, Pochettino needs to find an 11. He needs to find an 11, stick with it, and start making minor adjustments. Until then, the players will never know each other. It's so obvious to see. They make passes to people that aren't there. They make dummies to people, and they're not expecting it. They make runs in behind, and the pass never comes. This team and these players don't know each other. I feel like I'm watching a trialist match. Everyone's just individually trying to impress. No one knows each other yet. That just isn't there. The understanding isn't there. Yes, that will come, but only with time and not with sacking manager after manager after manager. Before we sacked manager after manager under Roman, but it came with success and the squad didn't really change. we just revamped the squad in half the season. Under Tuchel, Bowley added some new additions. Then went, nah, that didn't work. They were over 25. That's why we're not going to sign them anymore. Then he signed a load more in January who are here for the future, but they've all come in and looked pretty hopeless, bar one or two. Because Badashine's looked pretty good, actually. And a couple of others have looked okay. Enzo, very, very good. I know he costs a lot of money, but he's exceptional. He stands out in this team. We then go to this summer. He cleared out everything that wasn't his. Everything that wasn't his for clear profit. We spoke about that in the last video and explained why clear profit is the way he's going to go, because that way he can spend millions on players and amortize them over a lot of years, and it looks better on the books. And we abide by FFP. That's why. Pochettino is having so much chucked at him. I don't understand how he can manage this squad. It's going to just take time to get to know it and hope it doesn't change too much, because it's already changed loads since Pochettino was announced as our manager. So hopefully that can slow down. Todd Bowley, stop spending the money. You spent £1 billion. You've thrown something at a wall hoping it sticks, and it really hasn't so far. Yes, maybe eventually it might, and one or two people that you've bought might go on to be world beaters, like we did once before when we used to buy the best young players in the world under Rome, and we've tried it. We've been here and seen it. Salah and De Bruyne looked awful for a while at Chelsea Football Club. They then went on to be at the very top of the game. But a lot of players we signed never ever achieved anything. Nathan, Piazon, Kennedy, these guys come from unbelievable Brazil youth teams and didn't achieve anything in the game. Didn't achieve hardly anything. So that needs to change. But going back to the 11, I don't want to see Chilwell left wing anymore. He's not a left winger. I don't know why Poch is trying that. It's just not working. If he isn't good enough to play left back, he doesn't play, because we must have better left wingers. Sterling, he's been one of our better players this season, but his inconsistency is killing me. Thiago Silva's getting slated by some of the fans on Twitter. They need to watch the game because he's still our best defender. I don't care if he's nearly 40 years old. This guy is still Chelsea's best defender. He's world class. Do you know what? Yesterday, he received that cross from Enzo from the free kick. The touch and the finish, I reckon he'd probably be our best striker if we put him there. And moving on to striker, Jackson, he got bullied yesterday. And I think that's going to happen. I think he's a 1 in 3 striker at best. I think there's a lot of rawness and a lot of potential in him. But that's going to need to be coached. He's going to need to be educated if we expect to see him get to the very top where Pochettino suggested he could be. Defensively, I think we look okay. The midfield didn't really protect the defence yesterday, and I thought that's what Casado was brought in to do, but apparently not. Apparently he's been brought in to take lots of touches, look very nervous on the ball, and play like a crab. People were asking and saying that Conor Gallagher looked really poor yesterday and suggesting that he shouldn't be playing. He was fine. Conor Gallagher actually didn't have too bad of a game. I'm not saying it was great, because I don't believe anyone really had a great game, but that wasn't very good. The brightest spark for me was Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer looked very good. Looked like he could unlock a low block, which Chelsea are really struggling with right now. And we have been for the last couple of seasons. Because one, our striker doesn't hold it up well enough. Look, Jackson's been better than what he was. That was his worst game by quite a long way yesterday. He's been better than that. And he's been better at holding up the ball and bringing players in. But he got manhandled yesterday, and I think that will teach him a lesson. He's big enough and strong enough to hold up that football. I know that for sure because I've seen it. I think he's just going to have to learn that different teams will do different things. By the way, credit to Steve Cooper. He's impressing me a lot. Forest look like a massive improvement this year. They're making some games very tough for some good sides. That's the thing I'm trying to take from this. But it's still not looking good. We moved to the players because Mudryk, people ask for him to start. He comes on as a cameo. He doesn't look very good. I think Sterling, how can he look so good in one game and then awful in others? Maybe that's because it was against Luton, but he's looked good in other games. He's looked really good. I feel like we're working with Sterling. We're building and moving forward. But if the results stop going our way and they get worse and worse and worse, I mean, I say stop going our way. They're not going our way, but if they get worse and all of a sudden we're picking up 0 from 12, then I believe we will enter a crisis. We will be asking for the manager to be sacked. There will be fans asking for Bowley out. And there'll be protests outside Stamford Bridge. I almost guarantee it. It's messy right now at Chelsea Football Club. It needs some structure. There are too many fingers in too many pies. Is that the right saying? I'm not sure, but you know what I mean. That people are trying to do too many different things, and it just needs to slow down, calm down a bit, and work out what people need to do. We're recruiting players consistently into the first team setup that will never play for the first team. That's a mess for me straight away. Pochettino wants a small squad. He wanted maturity. He didn't get either of that. He's still got a massive squad. He's still got no maturity. He's got a lot of immaturity, if we're being completely honest. Where we go from here for Chelsea Football Club, I don't know. It's going to be a roller coaster of a season. I'd like you to let me know in the comments below if you think Chelsea are in a crisis right now, what the solution is for Chelsea Football Club. If you're new, subscribe. The Chelsea content will keep on coming. I can guarantee you that. And I'll see you in the next one.